everybody, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with my Double Dare You layout, a little bit late this time. And I'm also playing with some new goodies from Wild Whisper Designs. And so today I'm going to do a traveler's notebook spread instead of a layout, but you could use this exact same idea on a layout as well. And I decided to leave the video kind of in real time because I had cut some of it out to do some stitching. So for I Double Dare You, this is a series where my friend Laura Alberts and I challenge each other on the first Friday of each month, and then we come back on the third Friday to take each other's challenge. And so my challenge to her and all of you for today is to create a layout that includes some details that are hand stitched. And I opened my new box of goodies from Wild Whisper Design for their new release and fell in love with this paper with the hearts on it. And it's from the Happy Tales collection, which is like a puppies and cats and pets type of collection. But this particular paper completely spoke to me the minute I opened the box. And so what I wanted to do was to take a few of the little hearts on this page and hand stitch them. So they have lines already because they look like they have a stitched look to them, or like a doodled look to them already. But I thought it would be really fun to take a few of them and stitch them. And so I'm just kind of showing you, trying to give you a little bit of a close-up how I did that. So I just poked holes at the end of each of the rows, and then I went ahead and added my stitching. So I just followed the lines, went straight across, super easy. So there you can see I'm just kind of punching all those holes. I find that your paper tears a lot less frequently when you are stitching on paper if you punch your holes ahead of time. And so you can use this with a piercing tool if you want, but because I was only doing a couple of small spots, I decided to just use my needle. So I'm just pre-punching all of those holes. And then I'm going to take that pattern and I'm going to hold it over the edge of my photo, and I'm going to poke the holes again. So this is going to let me create this same stitched heart right on top of my photo. And so I'm just kind of giving myself a pattern for what that's going to look like. And you do have to push a little bit harder going through the photo as well as like the photo map. So I would definitely recommend a piercing tool for that part of it. So then I have my 3 little hearts on the pattern paper and then my 1 heart on the photo. And I absolutely love how that looks. So I love that it's going to carry over that heart pattern to the opposite side of my layout. And I don't want to do a whole ton of embellishing here. So I'm pulled just some hearts and labels out of my stash, and this is from Paintbrush Studio. And I start out thinking I'm going to put these labels over here on the side or like the edge of the page. And I end up changing my mind, which then tears the black paper apart and I have to start over. Which, if you watch my channel, you know that that is pretty normal for me, where I put things down and then I have to tear them up and start over. Because what I decided was, rather than having those labels on the edge, I didn't like how it looked having labels on both sides of the page. Like that one over by my stitched hearts just looks out of place. So I decide, I'm like, nah, that's not working for me. So instead, I'm going to create a vertical line over behind my photo to where I'm going to have all the labels in this center column. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of them kind of overlapping each other. And so this is where you'll start to see me go, oh, I know what I want to do. I need to tear my whole page apart. Yep, it's coming. Never fear. Here we go. Oh, we're going to start tearing it all apart. So once I have it all torn apart and I decide to move all the labels around, then I'm going to kind of finish off my details. So with my challenge for this month, I want you to kind of look through your stash and think about where you might have a few, like a pattern paper that has a detail that you could do a little bit of stitching. So rather than jumping in, unless you want to, with a huge stitching project, coming up with just a small piece. So like in this layout, I just have these 4 little hearts, but it adds so much color and dimension and texture to this project just with that little detail. So now that I have all my labels through the middle, I like that much better. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the top and the bottom. And that's where I'm going to do my journaling. So this particular picture is a photo of my daughter. She was dressed up like Alice from Alice in Wonderland for Halloween. And it was funny because our neighbors happened to have decorated their yard like it was Wonderland getting ready for a tea party. And so, of course, that just made everything, you know, better, like more magical and super cool. And so, of course, we had to take pictures of her um, with that Wonderland yard in the background. And you'll see it a little bit better in the close-ups. But I'm just going to add a few of these hearts kind of going up my stack of labels. That's also going to kind of tie together my hearts on the other side. I kept trying to find the spot where I could put one of these epoxy hearts on the like opposite page. But it didn't work for me, and I really felt like I didn't need it. So really the only detail that's going to be over there is just going to be those 3 hearts. I had thought about using this alphabet, and I was going to put just the letter A from, like, for Alice. And so I pull out the A and I put it on there, and I have it on there when I like finish the video, but I decide as soon as I'm like done and looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I don't like that on there. I really like the simplicity of having just those 3 hearts. And I had so much fun creating this project with like the very first paper that spoke to me when I opened up my Wild Whisper box. So sometimes it's not even so much as a collection speaking to you as much as it is one single paper was the whole inspiration for an entire layout. And this same idea would work really well if you wanted to try it on an entire layout. So you could use this heart paper as a 12 by 12 sheet and then just stitch random hearts throughout the entire sheet. And I think it would be such a cool look. So hopefully you will take on this stitching challenge, and I'll be back to see you guys really soon. Bye, everybody.